What is haram in Islam is riba. It's interest. There are many verses in the Quran. God says in the Quran that riba is haram. In Surah Imran chapter number 3 verse number 130, in Surah Nisa chapter 4 verse 161, in Surah Baqarah chapter 2 verse number 275 thrice, in Surah Baqarah chapter 2 verse 276, as well as in Surah Baqarah chapter 2 verse number 278. It says
activities. Second filter is they have certain specified financial ratios in terms of the income derived from certain prohibited activities, right? So you have the first filter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to IB News. I'm Fazira, and today's news is about Islamic investment restriction. There are 4 types of Islamic investment restriction, which are riba, maisir, day trading, and Sharia non-compliance. First of all, riba. Riba is the literal translation of increase, addition, or growth, though it is often translated as usury. English speakers typically understand usury as the change of exploitative interest rate. But riba refers to any excess value in transaction that Islamic law has prohibited. The prohibition of transaction is determined with the aid of interpretation in the Quran and Sunnah by qualified scholars of fiqh muamalat. Several methodologies in traditional and modern literature for understanding riba and its many types. However, 2 common elements of riba that are identified almost all Muslim scholars and all Sharia-sensitive investors should know are riba al-fad and riba al-nasi'ah. So right now, we will be with Fatiha, our reporter. She at University Utara Malaysia right now, and she will ask a few people there about riba. So right now, Fatiha, hello.
Thank you, Fazira. I am Fatiha from IB News. Right now, I am at University Utara Malaysia. I am going to interview some people to ask them about Islamic investment restriction. Hello, Miss. Assalamualaikum.
Hello, Waalaikumsalam.
Are you free right now? Can I interview you? I'm from IB News.
Yes, you can.
May I sing? Have you ever heard about Islamic investment restriction?
Oh, not really.
Okay. For your information, riba is one of Islamic investment restriction. Do you know anything about riba?
Yes. Riba is a concept in Islamic banking that refers to charge interest. It has also been referred to as usury or the charging of unreasonably high interest rates. There is also another form of riba, according to most Islamic jurists, which refers to the simultaneous exchange of goods of unequal quantities or qualities. Though here we will be referring to the practice of charged interest, as the Holy Quran says, "O you who believe, observe your duty to Allah and give up what remaineth due to you from riba, if you are in truth believers." Surah Al-Baqarah 278.
Thank you, Miss, for your cooperation.
Alright, bye.
Now I'm going to interview another person about this restriction. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
I'm Fatiha from IB News. Can I interview you?
Okay, yes.
My first question is, have you ever heard about riba for this?
Before this. Okay, yes.
About this restriction, which is riba in Islamic investment.
I hope through this interview, society can gain more knowledge about riba. Nowadays, there are many ways to get money, include investment. So, as a Muslim, we should not involve in business transaction that include riba.
Thank you.
Welcome.
The next one is Sharia non-compliant activities. Sharia non-compliance activities range from having a line of business that is considered impermissible, like in the arm industry, to deal with interest while managing the financial affairs of a company. For example, taking interest-based loan. The following business activities are not presumable under the Sharia. Hence, the companies conducting these activities do not qualify for Sharia compliant investments such as alcohol, tobacco, pork related products and entertainment. So I'm going to call Miss Manisa. She is one of the Sharia Advisory Board to ask her about Sharia non-compliance activity. So Assalamualaikum, Miss Manisa.
Waalaikumsalam. Yes.
How are you, Miss?
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay, I'm Fazira from IB News. So we are going to ask a few questions about Sharia compliance activity. Oh, I'm sorry, Sharia non-compliance activity. So the first question is, do you know any non-Sharia compliance activities?
Yes, of course. Yes, from what I know, any business activities or transactions related to alcoholic drinks, including production, distribution, retail and wholesale, and supplying of services, equipment, vehicles, motors, and raw materials to any persons or companies who engage in alcoholic drinks related business activities are one of non-Sharia compliance activities.
Okay, so we know that some conventional bank practicing non-Sharia compliance activities. From your opinion, Ms. Manisa, do you think that this bank can practice Sharia compliance in their business activity?
Believe it or not, there are already efforts on becoming Sharia neutral where it is deemed acceptable practice for attracting Muslim consumers. Some non-Islamic banks have been aligning some of their product features to be consistent with Islamic banking practices under the guise of responsible financing or sustainable banking. For example, the compounding late payment interest which some non-Islamic banks no longer practice. Another example is that some are considering to remove commitment fees from unutilized financing balance in overdraft or revolving credit to align it to Islamic banking practices. We are starting to see non-Islamic banks realigning themselves to be on par with Islamic banking practices.
Last question. Is it important for investors to check the background of the company first before they invest?
Of course, it is important. For Muslim investors, they cannot invest in a company that involved in non-Sharia compliance activities. Therefore, it was important for them to carefully study the non-compliant elements in a company and find the means and ways to avoid them or deal with them in a manner consistent with Sharia principles.
So, thank you, Ms. Manisa, for your cooperation with IB News.
Alright, welcome.
So, that's all. The last type of Islamic investment restriction is maisir. Maisir is referred to gambling or games of chance. It is wishing something valuable with ease and without paying an equivalent compensation for it, or without working for it, or without undertaking any liability against it by way of a game of chance. In Surah Al-Baqarah 219 means they ask you about wine and gambling. Say, in them what lies grave sin, though some benefit to mankind, but their sin is more grave than their benefits. So basically, Islam has also prohibited all forms of gambling.
Hello, I'm Anissa, reporter from IB News. Today I'm going to interview some people from UUM about Islamic investment restriction, which is maisir. Assalamualaikum, I'm Anissa from IB News. Can I interview you?
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi yes, you can interview me.
Please introduce yourself first.
First of all, my name is Daniel Habibi bin Abu Hassan, and I am 21 years old.
Okay. I want to ask you about maisir. What do you know about maisir?
Maisir is gambling, which is refer to game of chance.
Okay. Then, what do you understand about gambling?
Gambling is wishing wishing something valuable with ease and without paying any compensation and without working for it.
Thank you for your cooperation. Going to interview other person to talk more about maisir. Let's go. Hello, Assalamualaikum Miss. I'm Melissa from IB News. Can I ask you some questions?
Waalaikumsalam. Yes, can.
Introduce yourself first.
My name is Fatiha and I'm student from University Utara Malaysia.
Okay, I want to ask you about maisir. Do you think maisir is one of restriction in Islamic investment?
Yes, because based on what I know, Islam has prohibited all forms of gambling.
Okay, thank you for your time. For me, Manisa. Let's go back to Fazira.
So that's all from IB News. Thank you.